Dude, we were talking about getting late. You remember the
Pardon?
first time you had sex?
I don't remember when I was
with a
4.
girl?
I can't remember when I was 4. Do you remember anything at
With
4?
a girl, he said.
Oh, my uncle don't count.
I was going to say, have you apologized to him?
No, my TOs still don't come around.
Oh, my Lord. Jay, we're here today. We're back.
We're back.
Month hiatus.
Yeah.
You know.
We've been rolling them out, though.
You guys been traveling.
Yeah,
Papa's
we've been
still
traveling.
a Rolling Stone. I've been gone.
You've been gone. Everyone.
Jose, though, we know where the fuck he's been unless we take his ass somewhere.
Hiding.
Jose.
Yes, sir.
Jose Onate. So Thomas has proper fucked you twice. The first podcast is audio only. 3 what?
Maybe it won't be 3 times. I
Maybe
got
3
faith
times.
in my man today.
Oh, you think third time's a charm?
I mean, he didn't say the SDs were acting up, so we might be good.
How the hell you been?
Dude, been doing well. Yep, I can't complain.
That's it.
You know, above ground, living
Dude,
life.
You know we live larger than that shit.
Wow.
I don't know.
Too
above
damn wild.
ground.
Too damn wild, really.
La Vida Loca.
Yep, the only way.
George Brush, huh?
George Brush.
Best shit you ever seen.
It's pretty great. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, between that last podcast that we had with him and now, we've hung out in between then.
Yeah.
We all went on a little trip.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so a little background because I'm not sure. How many people have listened to the one that there's no video?
7. No,
Yeah,
I don't
not
know.
very
I'd
many.
have to look it over. One of them.
Do we know? Can you look it up?
Yeah, stand by.
Standing by.
So to fill people in on a little background. So Jay, Jose comes to interview at AAC a long time ago, and I think, the story I tell, which is probably a lie, was that it was Jose's first job. Like he was stocking the shelves at the local grocery store.
Piggly
No,
Wiggly?
Close.
No.
I was stalking girls that live by locally, but we can say green beans if you want.
At Piggly Wiggly?
How you know my street name, boy?
So, yeah, he comes there, and Jose fit in really well with me and Ethan and Eric Burt, the engineers, all the people that were a good time. And but Jose worked in the back with a huge douchebag that ran that. They were not fun. We were fun.
2,800.
2,800. All right. So those people now get the treat of seeing your pretty face.
I'm 5,000 of those, but I'm proud of your work.
Yeah. So that's when we met. When was that? What year was that?
1993.
Yep. 93.
93.
All right. So we've been kicking it since then.
Yeah.
Stayed homies.
Yep.
I appreciate you not testifying against me in that Remington trial. That was solid.
Yeah, no. Hey, look out for you, cuz.
My man. My man. Yeah. So we're still killing it.
Yep.
What do you do now?
Fuck everything. I mean,
Sorry.
fuck.
Sorry, Leslie.
Fuck, period, everything.
I got you. Yeah.
That's gross. Okay, so other than that, what do you do
Yeah,
for
you
a
do
career
everything
here?
for who?
Career, so, working at BPI, doing my thing there.
So that's Bagara's
Bagara,
parent
CVA, yep. Helping the customers, being the people's choice.
company?
Hunting, fishing, man.
Hunting, fishing.
Hunting and fishing.
It's not a bad life.
Oh, not the worst.
No.
Mm-mm.
A little bit of trapping here and there, but
Yeah, a little trap.
Bootleg cigarettes. So you came, what was that, October, November? You came to
November.
Africa, brought you to Africa
Yep.
with all the homies at work, the
Yep.
engineers, Jay, Thomas, everybody.
yes, you did.
So how about that, man?
Man,
So your homebody ass, the first time you had ever flown on a plane, BPI sent you to Spain to teach them how to Cerakote. Because I think you're like the first Cerakoter in the industry. You started doing it for us at AAC back when they were brand new.
back when no instructions, period, like a sack of paint that they sent us and was like, try this. Hell, we tried it, but we figured it out.
Jose killed it. I mean, not only was he a company favorite personality, but yeah, nailed that Cerakote, was on top of shit. So you go to BPI after Remington stuck their weenie in AAC.
Yep.
And so you start doing Cerakote there, and then so they send you to Spain. This is your redneck ass, your first flight in your life is to the homeland.
Dude, craziest thing about it, too, this was a Sunday. I talked to the guy that's going to send me. He goes, you know, he's a businessman, so he flies all the time. There's not a lot of people that don't. He goes, do you mind going over there teaching our sister company how to Cerakote? I'm like, I'm old enough. Let me get on a
You're
plane.
like, how long is that boat ride?
Well, I didn't even know they were in Spain. I'm like, Texas is probably great. Assuming, you know, like I'm going to go. Yeah, I always wanted to see Texas. I like cactuses. And he's like, all right, cool. Well, bring your passport in. I go, passport. And I go, bro.
Mexico took Texas back?
Yeah, like
my people.
I thought this was like Tennessee, maybe Virginia, Texas. He's like, no, it's in Spain. I was like Europe? He's like, yeah. I was like, I don't have a passport. I go, okay, I'm not going to sweat it. We'll get shit figured out. No problem. When do I need to leave? Because in my head, I'm like, shit, I got like 8 months to sweat this and get it figured out. He's like, Friday. And I was like, oh, shit. I don't have a passport. Can't get it done. I tell my dad, I'm like, they want me to go out of the country and fly. He's a traveler. So he's like, oh, it's about time.
Yeah, he crossed the border, right?
3 times. Hey, that boy's a shark,
And
boy.
he just had people.
That boy's a shark.
He just happen to have people with him every time.
Yeah, you
That
know what
was
I
a
mean?
coyote.
Buicks with damn heavy trunks.
Pollero.
The hardest boots in the game.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, whatever. Deep down, I'm like, I will never get a passport. Your dad goes, won't happen that quick. That bitch showed up 2 days later, and I'm like, fuck. So I have to go because they wrote like some.
Oh, you got it expedited.
Yeah. And I was like, shit, here we go. Dude, it was cool. I liked everything about it. It was pretty sweet, flopped over and went. But
I love Spain.
I don't like
So
Paris. Those people are mean to Americans.
Yeah, they're assholes.
Yeah.
Well, wait.
But to that, like, I went to school in Spain, and then, so one summer I spent in Paris, and they're horrible. But the city's cool. But what I learned was my mother came over, and I took her on, like, a tour of all these chateaus, like these castles. And Paris, it's like any place in the world, which I found, just like Africa when we were. Once you get out of the city where all the assholes are, like, country people everywhere in the world are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And the French country people, like, all around, I mean, just everywhere else.
So humble ass
They
people.
were great, and they were helpful, and they were grateful for the tourism, and but anyway, Paris, you're right.
You said the castle thing, so you just said first time traveling, you go to Spain. You told us a story in Africa about this castle.
Dude, freaked me out. It was kind of like this, winding down from.
I feel like everybody has this friend like Jose. Like Jose tells us this morning, shows us on his phone. Hey, look, 1 year ago today, we did the podcast that there's just audio of. And it's like everything with Jose, there's always some weird coincidence. Yeah. And so you go to Spain, what happens?
So, I go to Spain, we're done with our task, get the guys squared away. We're
Test.
Yeah, Cerakoting, like all the hard STDs, boy. So, work's done, got 3 days to kill, and they're like, hey, we want to take you to a special place. Good little restaurant. It was the craziest thing. The whole restaurant in this town.
Food is so good in Spain. Ooh.
If you like fish.
Yeah.
But I like fish.
And women. And they're also good there.
Everybody's nice.
Yeah. Spanish people are cool.
Yeah.
It's so, it's so close to Paris, and yet everybody's
but it's so different within, that small
Spanish
distance.
people are awesome. Even back in the 90s when I was in school over there, everybody hated Americans. Spanish, they loved Americans.
They do.
It's a good time.
Dude, it was the most welcoming place I could.
Yeah.
First experience, great. Except Delta, fuck you, losing my bags for 6 months. But
Tell
whatever.
me about it.
Shit
When I got to
happens.
Africa this time, they lost my guns for 2 days. Fuck them. Yeah, Delta.
No shit.
Eat a dick. Yeah.
Shout out Delta.
Yeah, so
Let's-
Rad and I had to stay in PE for 2 days, just like at the beach, getting drunk.
Physical education.
Ooh, gross.
wait
I
for
bet
them
that was
to
terrible. Does Rad know how to swim?
Mm-mm.
I didn't think so.
But it was cool. I mean, that would have been awesome had I not been there wanting to hunt.
Yeah, if you're on that mindset to hunt,
Yeah.
that's what you want to do.
Sorry,
No.
Tell me
Birded us.
about your castle.
Oh, so they're like, we're going to take you to this place, super cool. So we pull up, we're riding, had a few little drinks,
That's Spanish way.
Yeah. Dude, that culture is all about, dude.
Good times, man.
Yeah, they're super nice. Awesome.
I live there.
Yeah, me too. And I like Georgia a lot. But
Yeah.
You're
a redneck.
they're I'm actually red Mexican, but I mean, I guess you could word it how you want.
All right. He's not even Mexican.
Bro, did he just call me pale?
His dad, I think his parents bought him or something.
Did he just call me SPF 50?
I think they traded weed for him or something when he was little. I don't know.
Maybe I was in the trunk of the Buick coming across the border.
He is actually like the whitest person I know.
Bro, I'm like, whatever. It's just because I come here in the winter. Give me like 3 weeks, I'll be Enrique Iglesias glaze. Whoa. Glazed? Enrique Iglesias?
Enrique Iglesias.
Dude, so we go to this damn place, and I'm looking at street signs. I've had like 4 or 5 little of their beers there, and I'm like, man, it's such a pretty place. I look up at a street sign. I'm like, Onate. I said, hey, that's my last name. That's crazy. They're like, this is what this town is called, Onate, or Onate. Let me be proper. Like, weird. So we walk into this cool little restaurant. It is a castle, big as hell, and it has little archery windows. And they were like, the what do you call it? The founder, like the guy that runs the damn town, governor, whatever you call it back then. And
I think they call them busters.
Yeah, busters. Oh, haters. The hater that ran the town. So apparently he fought off like a whole nother damn village or country with a fucking bow and arrow, and they had muskets, and he shot out these little doo-doo ass windows. But he's a man. I mean, he's like Tim Wells.
That's a Georgia thing, doo-doo ass.
Doo-doo ass.
That means bullshit.
And I walk in, and there's this picture of this dude. They're like, I was like, hey, who is this cat? She's like, he's the one that saved the town. This is his town. I said, well, that's my fucking name on that thing. His name was Jose Onate. Hey, street cred. Bro, hard.
Yeah. Do you show him your ID or anything?
Well, I go, that's my name. And, the girl's like, you're right. I'm like, no, I know I'm right.
Yeah.
She's like, show
I
me
was
an ID.
adopted and given this name. I know it.
But he had like a fire ass mustache. Yeah, I can grow face hair. But dude looked like the king on the king card,
Yeah.
And I was like, no, for real. And she was like, ran to the kitchen. Your boy ate the best fucking squid you've ever seen. Like, I had people coming out with squid. I'm like, can you hit that squid with a mallet before I eat it? It was like sea walking across my plate. For real. I'm
dragging a rag behind it.
Yeah, throwing up gang signs. You know what I mean? Dude, super crazy. Sat out there. They just started handing me shit, and my big fat ass is like, I'm home.
These are my people.
Yeah.
Thank you for the castle. I've returned.
Super weird, though, man. Literally.
So you just go over there for Bagara
Yep.
to teach them how to Cerakote, and so the leadership there wants to take you to a nice dinner and take you to a castle, and it's
My castle, actually.
it's your castle. Yeah. Jose Onate's.
Yeah, so if any fans
Castle.
want to send mail, I'll give you the address to my castle, and you can just kick stuff over there. Yeah.
Send you some bourbon over there.
Yeah, it's crazy. They don't do bourbon over there. It's so sad.
That's why I need to send it over.
Yeah, import.
Yeah. It's crazy. Okay. So
Well, after that, he became a world traveler, basically.
yeah. So you fly over there. Then your very next flight, I flew you up here for the audio podcast.
Yep.
And then your next flight was you go to Africa with us.
Yep. Like, you hit me up on like a fucking Tuesday. You're like, you want to go to Africa? You remember you told me, yeah, I want to take you sometime. I was like, yeah, I'll go. You know how people have that conversation. Like, sure. Well, you did. And it was like, yeah, we're leaving in 3 weeks. And I was like, how do you not go? So I made it happen. But yeah, we went, definitely. It transpired pretty quick for a trip of that size.
It was like a last minute thing. It was like a last minute thing though, because Ethan had to go do some testing stuff for the government.
Oh, is that what happened? So
yeah, because Ethan was going to come with us.
Open slot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like,
filled a slot.
Immediately, you're like, let's call Jose.
So what'd you think? How'd it go? How was that flight?
It was long, but we got lucky, right?
Dude, on the way there, yeah, we had rows to ourselves so we could lay down and sleep.
And
regardless of the babies that were freaking the fuck. Remember that dude that freaked out at the baby?
He goes, shut that thing the fuck up. I'm like, I didn't do nothing. But then I was so delusional and tired. He was talking to some baby. He's like, shut it the fuck up. I'm like, Jay, calm down. And Jay's up here. It ain't even Jay yelling. I thought he was just fucking with me.
It was bad. We were like 12 hours into it. And like this baby had not stopped.
And somebody had enough.
That guy had enough.
Dude.
I mean, I had enough, but I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna beat the shit out of a baby over it. But, like those days are behind me,
I was probably that way till I had kids. I was that asshole.
Yeah.
Once you have kids, you're just like, I get it, man. I'm sorry.
No, man, this baby had breath for days.
Yeah.
I was like,
I was
either it's going to stop or pass away in a minute.
Right.
It
didn't do either.
Had lungs, huh? Next Michael Phelps.
It didn't do either of those things. It just kept going.
On and fucking on.
That's so sad. I just feel so bad.
That flight, though, like.
I must have been up in first class snoozing.
Yeah.
We pretty much were first class for low class.
Yeah.
Like, we were,
Yeah.
people were walking in. Me and Jay are like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And that lady, the stewardess, is actually like, I see all y'all looking like all weird. Wait, nobody's back here. Stretch out.
Yeah, but we didn't believe her.
Yeah, I was like, nah.
Because people would come up and I'm like,
she's
they're
tricking us.
sitting with me. Fuck.
Yeah.
And then finally they're like, yeah, the cabin's closed, or whatever. We're like,
what?
That's it.
And then she was super cool because she was a little country lady. Remember?
Yeah.
Jay thought she was thick though.
Probably, yeah.
Y'all's age, that means like she hot.
In a good way.
Thick.
Yeah, thick in a good way. But it was kind of jacked up because like we all had rows to ourselves, and then Nick was up packed in a row. I think he was like in the middle of some people too.
Big Nick was being sandwiched, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, Saint Nick.
Yeah, old Saint Nick.
Did he move back and like spread out?
No, I think Tommy actually someone offered him, either Tommy or Drew offered him like, hey, I'll switch out with you or whatever. And he's like, no, I'm good.
Little Thomas could sit in the ashtray.
That's true. Yo, I saw him playing chess on the flight, on the thing. Bro, he was playing chess on the thing, and I was looking at it, and I'm like, oh, he's doing pretty good. And then it says the opponent, and it says like the level that they're at, and it said 5-year-old. And he won, and I was like, man, I bet you feel great.
Did he get up and like, woo?
Well, he did. He like looked back at me, he's like, I won. And I was like, yeah, I bet you feel great right now.
You guys are idiots.
I mean, what else do you do? That shit's long as hell.
I don't know. You do some.
It was
weird
crazy.
shit.
Yeah.
It
I mean,
is.
we would like I laid down. You have to have your mask on the whole time. So like I took my sweatshirt off and laid down, took my mask off and covered my face with it.
Yep.
And then you'd turn you spin around or whatever. And at one point I spin around and my head's by the window and I can see back behind me and he's right behind me. And we're just looking at each other. I'm like,
yeah, through the crack.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm turning around.
I'm like,
Jose's the king of like awkward stares and shit.
I see his face. I'm like, are you asleep?
Yeah.
He's like, yes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I would reach up and be like, this boy was snoring, no man.
Yeah, so are you.
Like, I was so tired.
Yeah, it was bad. But realistically, for being that flight, for what that flight could be, it was great.
Yeah.
The flight back, not the same, but
no.
Flight there was good.
Yep.
All right, so I've had a 23-hour flight before, but so this, I mean, it's long, but 16, I'm like, yeah, can do it. Oh, yeah.
Well, when we flew there you were already in Mozambique with Rad doing what we just had a podcast about.
Sweating
recently.
my ass off.
Yeah. And so none of us had heard from you in a few days. So we all got there.
Yeah, it's Africa. Stuff is spotty.
Right.
Like
but so we're all thinking like, I wonder at the point we're like, well, he's got to be close to being done. We're like, man, he probably just didn't shoot anything and he didn't want to tell us. But then as soon as we landed in Port Elizabeth, Andrew and Seppi were there, and they're like, Andrew's like, Kevin just shot a huge lion. It was cool. Oh no, we stayed at that place first. We stayed in Joburg.
Yeah, the place where the water cuts off at 10.
Yeah, they're like
without telling nobody.
Y'all stay at Africa Sky, the guest house?
No, it was attached to the
airport.
Oh, the hotel.
Like the awning covered us the whole way. It was right there.
Yeah, it's a Hilton or something. Right?
Yeah, we showed up and it took them like an hour to check us in.
Yeah, it's like everywhere in Africa, it's their first day every day at their job.
And like,
they have no idea what to do.
Like someone would check in and it's like the first time they've ever done it, and then they go by and then I walk up and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Yeah, you would think we were not like. And here goes 10 people while we're like, ooh.
Yeah,
it's a
it was
strange
weird.
thing in Africa. Everyone there, it's their first day every day.
But by the time we got to our room, they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, the water cuts off in about an hour." So we're like,
"Yeah."
What the fuck? Like none of us had showered. Like,
no, I know
they're on all. I mean, the country's fucked up in a bunch of ways, and infrastructure. So they shut down power and water and everything like randomly. There's some schedule, but it's always changing.
Yeah,
Dude, and we went and ate. We had an hour, then we went and ate. Like, that's the first time I ever brushed my teeth with Sprite. You know? I was like...
Yeah, we all brought our toothbrushes to dinner with us, basically.
And none of my shit charged because they... Dude, every
they
plug in
shut the
South
power down.
Africa is different. Here, there... I'm going to bring a fucking generator next time in my backpack, I guess.
It's ghetto.
Thomas saved me.
At 100% is not different. It's all the same.
Dude, no, I had a charger that said South Africa. I stuck it in this shit and it like melted. Well, Amazon, fuckyouwish.com.
Yeah. Well, he hooked you up once we put those two Sawzall batteries together and some wire and got
MacGyver, you know.
Yeah, he got flagged because we had the Sawzall batteries. Thought we were rigging up the plane.
Oh, you know what happened this time? They no shit. I don't think I told this on the one before. Maybe I did. When I was over there this time, so Crusader got contacted because I've been over there like 5 times in a year, and I'm bringing in. So now the South African government has officially adopted, which means they certified it as a legit caliber for hunting, 8.6 Blackout.
Oh, really?
They did it while I was over there.
Because you've been there so much with it?
Yeah. They didn't know, but here's how it happened. They contacted Crusader, and they thought that I was a rhino poacher because I'd come so many times. And so they actually did an investigation while I was there if I was poaching rhino and taking horns back to America.
Turns out you were, but they didn't catch you.
And I was like,
where would I hide the horn?
Yeah.
Like,
well,
and I hear Andrew on the phone. He's like, he's a rich American. He doesn't poach rhino, you know. Like, how does this even... We don't have rhino here.
Yeah, I was going to say, where are the rhinos? I didn't see any.
Hey, I know why there ain't none.
But then, so he's like irritated. He's like, it's no big deal. Got it settled. You know, they're all kind of laid back, that area of South Africa. And I was like, you know, Andrew, should I be poaching rhino? Like, how much are these horns?
Yeah, if I'm getting blamed for it.
Like, if I'm risking going to a South African prison, how much can I get for some rhino horn?
Yeah.
But then you find out it's actually like they take it seriously, and good for them. And that's why, like, you know, when they partner with McDonald's Safaris in Mozambique, you know, they have wild rhino there, and when they see one with horns, they fly the helicopter in, they dart it, they cut the horns off so they're not poached.
Right.
But it is what they said is it's the most expensive per gram thing in the world. So like
it's just keratin,
cocaine,
right?
uranium. It's like fingernails.
Yeah.
Like you can cut it off with a pocket knife.
Why is it so expensive?
Because the fucking idiot Chinese buy it and grind it up and put it in their coffee and tea, whatever the fuck they drink.
Gives them boners.
To give old dudes boners. It's like, man, you can get pills for like
the same thing we were doing when we were over there.
Dude, that's weird because everybody's like, it's an aphrodisiac. And I'm like, how do you strap that horn on?
Easy, man. Have you seen it? It's shaped just like
and it is curved up.
Yeah, man. So that was weird. So I was investigating South Africa because I go so much, and I take like a unique caliber that's not common, and so they naturally assume that I'm poaching rhhinos.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, now that it's over, that's kind of cool, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
cool.
Oh boy,
I'm on a list.
Since we're in Africa now, when we talked about it with the whole group, we you asked how everyone felt about the whole trip and all that. And I touched on it a little bit, but when we first got there, I mean, we spent probably the first full day and a half traveling. But once we were there, we went out one day. Tommy and I went with Nick and Mitch, and it was great. It was a successful day. It was a good hunt, whatever. And I remember laying in bed thinking, like, because I hear you tell the stories all the time. I'm like, man, like, my life hasn't changed yet. Like I'm like not disappointed, but I'm like, when is my like
whatever. You were painting this picture from the info you had.
And then there was a day, I don't know if it must have been the next day. We went out, Tommy and I went out with you, and it was you, us, and John.
Yep.
And that
Forsyth.
Yeah. And that day was the best day.
That was the craziest day of my life.
What happened?
Yeah.
Official.
Well,
because I'm still in Mozambique at this point, or I'm traveling back.
No, you had just gotten back.
Because I came in and flexed on you after that hunt. Remember, like, guess what, you boy done.
So it was a couple days in, but it was the day before the night before all the engineers shot their kudu, because he shot a kudu, and then less than 24 hours later, 3 more got shot.
Okay, so tell me about this day. You guys go out.
Dude, so
You got your boy Jay with you.
Jay, Thomas, we're all going out.
Yeah.
And John Forsyth is the PH? Or
Yep.
who you guys with?
Yeah.
And
I'm
he
trying
is
to
like,
think of who I'm trying to think of who our tracker was. It wasn't Maboot yet.
we had to go get one. We didn't have one, right?
It was Maboot. Yeah. Yeah, it was then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Actually, no, it's not. I have a photo. I'll pull it up. But tell the story.
So we're, John is like, that morning we went out. He called it, nailed it. He's like, this is where we'll be tonight. It's going to do this, and that.
Okay, so you're a place on the property, and
Yeah,
he calls that.
Yeah, he calls it. He goes, we're watching. He goes, I see him. We're going to come back this evening.
Oh, what?
He
You're
was
after a kudu.
Yeah, I was, pretty much when you're kudu hunting, you have to dedicate your day to kind of like, I'm going kudu hunting, unless you just get lucky. But
Yeah.
So we get back, we go, got the guys with us. Everybody's set up, we're chilling. And
Well, hold on. Before all of this, earlier in the day, you shot a wildebeest, black wildebeest, a cocker of a black wildebeest too.
And oh yeah,
So that was the whole
Oh,
thing.
I
Is
forgot
like the
about
day
that.
before. So this was a couple days in because
All
the
right,
day
you guys got to organize this. I'm like, all
I got
over
you,
the
I got
place
you.
and confused.
So-
I jumped
All
ahead.
right, so you guys start out this morning.
in the morning, yeah. So the
Yeah.
day before we link up with Jose, we were with Nick and Mitch or whatever, and Nick had shot a black wildebeest up top, way up top,
Yeah.
and it was a nightmare. He shot it. The pack covered him up because you were with us.
Yeah, I was with you, and
Yeah.
it ran by us,
Right, it runs by us,
bro.
and then,
Like
and then
damn.
we
I
look
know,
for
they
it.
Fuck off.
We
for
look
so
for
far.
it
like
for-
5
And they're-
miles.
Yeah.
And if it ain't bleeding bad, they're black.
Yeah,
You
we
can't
couldn't
really
find it,
see
and the herd covers it up to
Yeah.
protect it. So we're looking, we can't see anything that's injured, and it straight up ran 5 miles and finally died way at the bottom of this thing. So we go get it, whatever. But it ended up being a successful day, but it was frustrating because we shot this thing and we chased after it for 4 hours, and so the next day we had John. We had to get a tracker. It was Whitey.
Whitey, my man.
I just
Yeah,
looked at the
oh,
photo.
yeah.
So we had
Whitey's
Whitey.
my homie.
So we
Yeah,
went up top.
He's my full-time tracker now when I'm there.
Yeah.
Because he speaks English. He's a good time. He laughs. He tells jokes. He loves fucking with Rad, which makes me so happy.
Yeah.
And he can drive.
Yeah.
So works
Yeah,
out.
so we grabbed Whitey and we went, before we did anything, we went up top.
And to let everyone know, we don't give him these names.
Yeah,
this
at
is
all.
This
That
is
is
his name.
Yeah,
that
his name is
the
straight up
cause of people
Whitey.
gave him.
Yeah.
But we can ask Jay who his man is. What's his name?
Simpiwe. That's the
Simpiwe.
dog.
That's-
Simpiwe is the
That's
dog.
he's the move, right?
He is the
there.
move.
Yeah, he and Desmond Whitey.
Yeah.
There's 4 or 5 of them that are fucking awesome.
So we started off the day, we were sitting on a cliff and we are looking down and there were a bunch of baboons yelling at us and John was pissed. So he's like, we're going up top. And we went up top and we just by chance, he was like, because the day before you had shot at a blue wildebeest
And missed him.
and it floated up. I'd never seen a round get floated by wind. I've seen wind push
I've
around
seen
down.
It was because of that sage.
Yeah, that's right. He
You
didn't
know,
have he was allergic to that
No,
sage.
I can't hunt around sage.
I got that one video where we had like 30-mile-an-hour winds. And
Right.
I'm in a basin on a cliff, and I shoot with 6.5 at Folly,
Yeah,
like 550, and same thing.
that's exactly
shoot right
what
over
happened.
the top of them. I had to,
Like
aim
once it
6
left,
inches
I
low.
knew. I was like, "What is this?" It looked like a cartoon bullet. I was like,
Yeah, because you could see I mean, it's a daylight. It's a bright light daylight. We were laid down in some grass and some sage that he's allergic to, and
Pepper ticks.
it was fine. I mean, there wasn't any crazy elevation change or whatever, but there's wind ripping over this hill towards us, and it was
Yeah.
coming out, and you could see it in the trace. It floated around, and you're like, right over its back. It was like some Matrix, their wanted shit or something.
I was like, man, for real.
But so that next day we go out in the morning, we go up top and John sees a bunch of black wildebeest up top and he's like, I'll pull up here and we'll get out and we'll go walk. There's like a little cliff, like just a berm almost, and that we'll look down and we walk out and we see them and they're pretty close. They were like 220, 230. And
Because they had that burnt shit where the something caught on fire. Remember
yeah,
that?
they did like a controlled burn earlier. So there was like a berm of it that was
Yeah,
lifted up.
220 is close for those because the
Right.
black wildebeest and blessed buck, man, when you get within 600 yards of them, they fuck off.
Yeah.
Our saving grace was the hill was so steep. I mean, we
Yeah.
crawled and
Yeah.
then
And looked
looked
down
over.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
get in elevated positions.
Yes.
And they hung out for a little bit, just enough time for him to get set up. And he got set up. He had 6'5", and we kind of wait around. And I was sitting there. I'm like, man, like you gotta shoot it. and his bolt handle wasn't down on the fix. It was up a little bit. So he goes to shoot, and it goes click.
I didn't slam it down like a man.
And he adjusted, and he put a round in, and they could start. You see him start shifting around. They're gonna move, but that one was standing broadside, and he hit it, and it just dropped right where it stood. Like, it could not have been a better shot. It could not have been a better outcome. Just dropped awesome. The rest of them cruise, and we ended up going down, took a photo and everything, and like it was such a perfect, easy. We didn't have to like sweat for it. It wasn't. Everything went right.
Accessible by road around the. That's the big thing. Pulls the truck up.
Yeah. So it went. It just went right, and so that started the morning off. Everyone's in high spirits.
People don't understand. So this is in the Eastern Cape of South Africa is very mountainous, like legit fucking mountains.
Yeah, real mountains.
Like New Hampshire White Mountains, and yeah. So if there's places you don't shoot an animal, because you can't get to it, and it doesn't even seem plausible for a lot of people, but. Yeah, there are places there you cannot get to it to retrieve an animal. So
and you can get down there, but you're never going to get back
Especially
up.
with that something big.
Right, like a wildebeest. And he shut up.
Unless you take like 20 people with you and cut it up or something.
Yeah, so that started the morning
because there are mountains, you can't walk down there.
Right.
Like, it's just too steep.
But those dudes will drive a truck. I'm like, I'll get out. Hey, I'll get out. Like, I'll meet you at the bottom.
Dude, the day before when we were with Guy.
Was you not terrified? I'm like.
Well, I was flying the drone, so I wasn't really paying attention. And this is a different day, but it's the day before. But I might have told the story on the big one, but we're driving toward where Mitch and Nick are because Mitch is shooting a golden wildebeest. And we're on one of these mountains that we're talking about, driving parallel. So we're paralleling this mountain, and the whole truck starts sliding down the side.
Because it had rained.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Whole
truck starts sliding down the side. And at first, Guy's just like, we're sliding. And we're like, whatever. And it's right side drive. So Jose's on the downside. Like,
heavy set, chilling.
Looking down the mountain. And you can see him start moving around a little bit. And I'm flying the drone, so I'm not really paying attention. Guy's like, yeah, we're sliding. And I look, I can't really see anything. And then Guy starts kind of like yelling. He's like, we're sliding. Like, I can't do anything. We're sliding. And we're sliding. We're going forward, but sliding sideways down the mountain.
Yeah,
and Jose's like, I'll get out if you want.
Yeah,
and,
he's like, no, we need to wait.
Guy's like, do not get out.
Because I was balancing the weight of the truck.
Also,
we're on the other side.
If you had hopped out, the truck's just gonna slide into you and crush you.
It would have been better. I was nervous as shit, man. That was scary.
Because I finally looked up and looked down out the window. I was like, oh no, because it's just. As far as you can go,
abyss. It was like we couldn't see the bottom.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like part of the fun. It's not. It's not America. There's not guardrails everywhere. Like shit can go wrong.
Yeah. Because that happened to us right there. Everything ended up being good, and then later that day, when everyone was in the truck, that was the same day that Guy lost his brakes as we're going down a hill. And just chilling. He's like, I got no brakes.
Crusader's not going to love this part of this podcast.
No.
This was off the clock, Crusader.
Yeah.
Like we were testing for the next guest to come.
Yeah.
All right. So you shoot.
Yeah.
Black wildebeest. Then how's this the greatest ever? You make a good shot on an animal. That great.
It's super good, super high energy. Everyone's stoked. And then we went to where Jose was talking about. We went around to the other side of basically the property. Pretty much, we went on Andrew's cousin's land, and we scouted for a while. None of us can see anything. And John's picking. He's like, yeah, there's 7 right there. There's 4 right there.
I know. Like, now after 1,200 hours in the bush, I see 5% of what they see.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty much an expert.
And we had to drop Whitey off because I think you and Rad picked him up, and we had a.
They stole our tracker.
Yeah, we ended up having not a tracker.
El Presidente.
Yeah,
valid.
We ended up having just a farmhand, like a guy that helps around the property.
But it's still, those dudes, even if they just work fences and all that stuff, so when there's a lot of people there, they'll pull some of the staff. But, they're pretty much born there, live there, and they work on the property all the time. So even though they're not trackers, like their entire lives are working on that farm and seeing all these animals.
Right.
So they see shit with their eyes that you don't see with 10-power binoculars.
We're sitting there looking into the sun.
Even the guys that aren't the trackers.
Right.
They see
so we had this young farmhand with us.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there looking into the sun. We all got binoculars that we're looking through. And I look up. He's in the back of the truck, and he's just pointing and pointing or whatever. I'm like, how is he seeing these things?
Dude, I know.
And then we realized we had your Swarovski range finding binoculars. I'm like, oh, Tommy's like, give him these. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, hey, here you go. and then he starts seeing everything.
Yeah.
And that's when
it's amazing how much time it takes for you to be there,
right,
to start spotting all the animals.
Because even with magnification and binoculars, once you get onto them, the only thing you're seeing is maybe the glint off their horns or their face, their ass, just enough that you go, oh, that's not a tree.
Yeah.
But then you have an animal that is the same color as the brush,
right?
And they like read the outline,
yeah.
And I'm like, man, and I went in thinking I was a damn hunting son of a gun, dude. These guys, they teach you a lot, especially for here.
I have been so many times, and I spend so much time there, and I've shot so many animals there, and I still feel like I know nothing.
Yeah.
But it is. It's like in the morning, like you like to go out early because it's like the angle of the sun, the kudu horns will shine.
Right, just a little
and you
glint.
can see them. But the other time, it's like looking under the bush, and you're looking for just in the shadow, just a little something irregular. And so this last hunt, I'm just starting to see things a little more than just some American that goes over there and hunts. Like I can find, like now I'm pretty confident. Like I can, I could take someone over there and PH them, and they could have a good hunt. But it's still like 1% of what Rad or John or Whitey or Desmond what they see.
Yeah, not to scratch
so many animals.
Not to scratch my own ass, but by like the third day, I started seeing stuff.
I'm not doing it.
Hey, on the third day, Jay's talking about hitting the roof. You know how they hit the roof?
And I'm like,
bullshit. You don't see nothing, man.
And then whoever's driving will get their binoculars. I'm like, man, yeah, good one. Yeah, it's right there, whatever. So I started keying in, but again, only seeing half of. If they weren't driving, they would have seen it. But so we go to this area, and it's down by a dam. And John was explaining to us, like, in the daytime, they're going to be up in the mountains. And at night, they'll come down into the valleys, they'll feed, and then early morning, they'll go back up.
Yeah.
Right.
That's kudu.
Right. So he's like, you got to get them in the morning or the afternoon.
Yeah, they're actually very predictable in that sense. So if you're in a good valley or somewhere where there's kudu, there's some good strategies for that based on their behavior.
Yeah. So he basically sits there, and he's smoking a cigarette, leaning against the truck, and he's like, all right. They're going to come right down this pass. And he's like, and they're going to come into this valley. They're going to do it about this time today. He's like, so we'll go back. We're not going to push it hard. We'll go back. We'll eat lunch. We'll take a nap. And we'll come back out and be ready for them. And so we're like, okay.
That's maturity, and that's a good point.
Hey, honestly, when he said that, I was like, nah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel, I'm like.
Yeah. But
shame on me.
Right before we had done that, before we leave, he and I were standing by. They're all glassing. We're fucking off, not paying attention.
I know. Half the time I stop
preparing for the battle.
I'm like, if we got 2 trackers there or 2 PHs and a tracker, like me glassing is so fucking useless.
Yeah. What am I gonna do? Yeah, I'm looking at shit you've already seen. Yeah. But so he looks on the ground and he's like, "Hey, look at that! It's a monkey skull." He found this monkey skull on the ground.
Oh, that's cool.
It looked like a golf ball from ways away. And he went and picked it up, and it had its teeth and everything. He's like, "Look, a monkey skull." And I was like, "That's good luck."
Yeah.
So it rode with us in the truck. We go back, have lunch.
Bring it back?
You have it. Or
well,
we'll see if you actually have it.
No, I took a picture of it this last time. I set it up there. Yep. I know what you're talking about.
So we put it in the truck, and it was like our little mascot. We were joking about it. Came back, had lunch, took a nap, got out, and we went out and doing what we wanted to do. So we ended up going through like a little. To get there, it was cool. We saw a bunch of like locals, like you see like women walking with stuff on their head and stuff like that. It was crazy. Yeah. All right. But we went out, we parked the truck like a quarter mile from where we were going to go. We walked down this road and we just sat at the bottom of this valley.
You guys were there in Bavians River, like near Andrew's house, or you guys were in the cow?
We were, we were on the main property. Yeah, exactly. And so we were, by his cousin's land. We were right on the border of Andrew's land and his cousin.
Yeah, it's like my redneck friend Chad. Everyone in that valley is his cousin.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So
the cousin with the runway.
Right.
Yeah. Every road there says Pringle. Know, I'm like, I'm Pringle ready to mingle, you know.
So we walked down there and we set up, and we're just sitting there. It's me and my butt, or the farmhand with us. Tommy's to the right of me, and then John and Jose are in front of us. And so it was just everything. It was like the epitome of Africa. Like the lighting was amazing. It was like the most. We're at the bottom of the valley. We're not even at the top looking down.
There is not a place there that is not the most beautiful place in the world.
It was insane. Like the lights coming in. We're sitting in some tall grass and just waiting. And
it's called long grass in Africa.
Right, the long grass.
Call it sneeze grass because
Yeah.
your boy had allergies. But hey, that's cool.
And there certainly was death in the long grass, and it was Jose. But so we're sitting there,
His
and
sinuses took a pounding. Huh?
yeah, exactly. And we weren't there too long, but everything happened exactly the way John said it. Like we're glass, and finally he goes, "Hey, right there," and there's 3 big bulls coming down the same pass that he's talking about. And so it took Jose a little bit to get on him because they're moving.
I'm not good. Everything's meshing. You know that scope is. I backed it out, but it's.
Well, you were using
Swaro.
you were using Ivanka's her fix that you painted the handguard and stuff.
Yep.
So so a Z8 that's like 3 to 28 or something.
Dude, that thing was so nice. Like I was looking at animals. I'm like, why does he have 8 ticks on his side at 800 yards?
Yeah.
But your field of view,
Yeah.
that's the thing with hunting, because I'm a super power horse. So like, I'm not the best shooter in the world. So I want all the magnification I can get. But when you're on animals, like not static targets, the field of view is important.
Very.
You make the perfect shot, the animal's going to run most of the time. And to make a follow-up, because there it's different than like Nick or Mitch who are from the Midwest and you shoot a deer and it runs 100 yards just like you walk over there.
Right.
But 100 yards in the Eastern Cape of South Africa
Dude,
can mean
That's the difference between bringing an
6
animal home or not. Yeah.
6 hours of recovery.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Or not bringing it home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
so
the field of view is important for
That
follow-up.
almost the most important thing out there.
I think
Yeah.
so.
I would argue
and that glass clarity too, because it's the afternoon and we're starting to lose light.
Yeah, getting low light.
And so
fast.
we're walking.
So your boy hooked you up with a good optic.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So we're watching him or whatever, and John's he's like, hey, he's right there, find this, and then go right of it. And like, that's how all the good, probably any good PH in the world will do it, find a landmark and then walk you over. And so usually it's the big bush there or the
3 by themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, the wide open part and the 3 kudu, it's those ones. But so he finally gets on him, and we're all sitting there, and where we were to the base of the mountain basically was like 300 yards, and then they're another 250, almost 3 up. Actually, that was by the time he shot. So they were over 600 when we saw them. They start walking
that's
in.
a fucking poke on an animal, man.
Yes.
So
like it ain't hard to go to the range. Teach you to shoot 600. But
right.
And they probably were coming down closer, but we didn't have light left. You have to
you
pick
don't have
fast.
light, and you don't know the path. They could get behind bush.
Right.
You don't know, and when you're prone or you're having to sit up or you make a shot off sticks, and it's a live animal.
Yeah.
And
and
they're
you could
moving.
tell he was uncomfortable. The position you were in, he was uncomfortable.
Yeah, I had a boulder under my.
Right.
It's never fully comfortable when that never happens. You don't.
You never take a
it's
traditional or a conventional shooting position
So-
ever.
I had a stick up my ass, a fucking boulder in my side, trying to figure it out.
As much as I hunt and shoot over there, maybe 10% of the shots or basic easy. Everything else is offhand.
Yeah.
It's sitting up. It's
Yeah.
off sticks.
It's
You're
fucking
uncomfortable.
on your head, upside down.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Heartburn.
A great video, Thomas, that we got that hopefully you'll get together from a rock clip. I shot the kudu that had 1.5 horns. That shooting position was so unbelievably uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this. But fortunately, he slept behind a tree for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And so I just had to convince myself over time, here it is. Take a deep breath.
Because you got to
This is
sit in that
horrible.
position too for
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes, whatever, and you're dying. And then you got to pull off
I
a
know
good
it
shot.
seems
Yeah,
like
I
so
know.
pussy, but it is so hard.
Yeah.
Dude,
So-
it's not easy.
So they
No.
end up walking in, and he finally gets onto him, and they're coming down the mountain, and so
God, I love kudu.
it's so cool. And so there's 2 monster bulls and one super old one, like a tall bull, but not body-wise, not super big, but old and scraggly.
Yeah.
Similar to Mitch's. Mitch's was an old, worn bull. And so John's basically like, hey, we got 10 minutes of light left. We need to make this happen. So, and the PHs, they want to see that stuff get hit too. So
John was amped.
yeah, they want us to be successful as well. So, to no discredit to John, he was actually pretty upset with himself about it, but he tells Jose, shoot the one on the right or whatever. Shoot the one on the right. And so everyone's getting set up. We're waiting. We're all tracking it and everything. We're watching. Jose's taking 3 days to do what should take about
He's being modest. That shit
44
was like
seconds.
Christmas had came.
Yeah. So, but I'm like, man, you got to shoot it. You got to shoot it. You got to shoot it. Because it was moving slow, but then it would stop. And
you don't want to put a bad shot on a
No.
fucking train up there.
Yeah.
A bad shot is me losing 80 pounds of tracking
get it. Yeah.
a fucking Buick through the woods of Africa.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude.
No, because
for real.
I mean,
Fuck.
yeah, I mean, kudu is great because they're big, so it's 700 pounds like a mature
Right.
bull. So you have a big target, but a big target like the
Lot of blood.
The vital zone is here, but like,
You're using a bullet that's this
talk
big.
Shit all you
Yeah.
want, but a 12-inch circle at 500-600 meters,
Right.
and something is moving,
On
and then
elevation.
elevation, and then also it can. Sometimes it looks broadside, but it's quartering.
Right. And even if it's
not
slightly
easy.
quartered, everything's different.
Everything is
your
different.
exit.
Yeah,
You're
you gotta
worrying
think
about where
the exit.
Yep,
Yeah,
the
that's
exit.
right.
And
You don't
then-
care where you hit it.
And then not a problem, but a thing that we discovered that we talked about in that group podcast is that there could be no wind where you're at, no wind where at the target, but in between you don't know what's going on. So he gets set up, and very similar to the beginning of the morning, didn't have his bolt handle down. In fact, we watched the footage that we had at the end of the day.
What is with you in this bolt handle situation?
Arthritis.
So it just wasn't, it looked like it was down, but it wasn't all the way down. So he finally gets on it and click. And I had seen this happen to him before, so I've got this problem with hollering.
With my gun, it's probably a prototype and shit anyway.
Well, so I'm going, hey, I'm like, slow down, because I know he wants to make it happen for all of us, for him, for all of us. I'm like, yeah, slow down. It's not moving. Like, just chill out, slow down. I'm right behind him. And so he composed himself, gets it, and he's like, I lost him.
Take that deep breath.
So he finds him again.
Dial back down to 3.5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
back it on out. Quit counting ticks.
So he gets back on him. They're still in the same spot, and they're like in a line. And he shoots, and he just misses left of it. And I call it out. I go, left. You missed left. And so they kind of scurry a little bit. They mix up, and they only run 20 yards and stop again.
That's the cool thing about shooting with a silencer. You had a silencer?
yeah.
No, he didn't.
No,
Oh,
I didn't
he
at that
didn't.
time.
But
Distance was your
we're
silencer.
560 yards away.
Oh, yeah, that's far.
So by the time he gets there, they hear it. But then, what is that? And so as they mix up, John goes, hey, hold on. He's like, don't shoot that one. There's one that's on the right now. He's like, it's a bigger bull. Shoot that one.
Like
So
you can't just
yeah, they
appeared.
just kind of mixed up and moved. And he's like, oh, like actually, there's a bigger one. And so he composed himself, whatever, puts a round out, hits it, and it starts hoofing.
yeah.
And so we're going, oh no. And and
What
so
is, 6'5", 16-inch. That's
almost
That's a
600
poke.
yards.
That's a poke.
that is a
Yeah.
stretch,
like
man.
that 5 to 600 is where that bullet performs. Beyond that, stops
Yeah.
performing out of 16 inch.
So it starts moving, and they
you gotta
end
put
up
a good shot on them.
right. So they end up getting up, and John's like, "We're gonna get up and we're gonna wrap around, and we'll go." And I'm sitting there thinking, as they get up, they're just repositioning. They're gonna walk down farther into the valley.
Yeah, and if you got a shot on him, he's hurt. He's sore.
Right.
He's not gonna.
Remember, he had that little. Remember that
There was
Because
there was a property fence.
they refer to them as being sick. I'm like, did I hit him? He's sick. What does that mean?
yeah, yeah,
Do I have to walk 10 miles or he's
Yeah.
sick? Like,
yeah. So he put it
So there's a little cattle fence.
right, and it's probably.
Which
I mean,
is cool
it's
'cause,
waist high.
I
on
mean,
us.
kudu can step over those. But
Oh,
gosh.
when
It
they're
was no
sore
bigger than this
or
table.
yeah, and they did.
They don't do it.
Well, so as they're wrapping around, I'm there with my boot and we're watching, and I was like, man, I hope they can get back on him. And I know John can find him.
Yeah.
But because they all start moving, I'm like, man, I know we put a shot on it. I saw it impact, but we had spent 3 days prior seeing animals get plugged in what is for sure the vitals
and run
just,
back to Georgia.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, they're tough. Animals there are tough.
Yeah. So
I mean, they want whitetail are very elusive, but they're okay with dying.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's a weird thing to say or think about, but you shoot enough animals, and there are animals that do not want to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just
Warthog, there's
Wildebeest.
things shoot in Africa.
Dude.
Yeah, they are tough.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they wrap around and they go, and we're sitting there, and I'm watching.
And an animal with a herd or other animals wants to keep up. Like if that'd been a lone bull and you had shot him, probably would have gone 50 yards, sat down.
Yeah.
Not
So-
when he's with others.
So they go and they end up, they're ripping, and I'm tracking them the whole time. And the two of them, like you said, step over this fence. It's waist high on us.
Yeah.
And it's literally just a property marker. They step over this fence, and the other one goes to, but you can tell he's jacked up. and he leans against it for a second, and he's like, I don't know if I can do it. And it was enough time for him to stop and kind of turn around for a second, and they had gotten set up. He hits him another time, and it's a good one. And the thing not flips over, but he turns around, and he decides, I'm going over this fence. And he steps over it real jacked up and keeps going. And then he goes behind a bush, and I can't see him. And I hear a third shot go out. And I think that third shot was a miss. I think he just wanted to follow up with it because it only has 2 holes in it.
Why not?
Right.
Why not?
Oh,
Seal the deal.
We had learned out there, shoot it till
it's-
yeah. So I think the third shot was a
with
miss, and I don't see it come out of this bush. Like I saw it go in, I don't see it come out. And we sit there for a little bit, and I look at my boat. I'm like, you want to go up there? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So we walk over, and as we're meeting them, the boat goes to them, and John's walking towards me. I was like, I saw it go. Like I know it went in that bush, and it didn't come out. And I saw 2 hits on it.
Like,
for
dude,
sure.
even John was shaking.
Yeah.
As bad as I'm like,
Right.
this guy's like, I'm like,
he's so.
I mean, that's the
game.
cool thing about hunting and guys that are PHs. Like, that's a lifestyle, a choice.
Yeah.
You know, that's not like a career. Like, oh, I couldn't get into university and
Yeah.
become a doctor, so I'll just be a PH.
Right.
You do that job because you love it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like to me, like I fucking shoot kudu every day. Those hunts, every time I'm nervous as shit. It's exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It's when people fall in love with it.
the day it gets boring, the day I quit any
Yeah, I
hunting,
mean,
you
yeah,
know? Yeah.
Well, so
No, every hunt is just awesome.
yeah. So we go down there, and John's kind of like prancing out because we're losing late, and he knows it's hit. He knows it's down. He's like, well, at least we know it's down. And so he's jogging out, and he's like, we got to get the truck because we parked like a quarter mile, half mile down from where we
Well,
are.
you got to have a tracker that can drive.
I know.
Whitey, shout out.
So
That's I see now.
yeah.
Why you got
Yeah.
license?
Well, so
Papa gets a big piece of chicken. All right, I get Whitey because he can drive. So when I'm there, we got a tracker that can drive.
Mijo gets a rolled ankle.
Yeah.
so John and I go
Jose
out.
Onate.
We go get the truck, and as we're walking, Andrew's cousin pulls up, and we start talking to him. He's like, hey, we shot this. Just by the way, it was on Andrew's land when it got shot. It hopped the fence and died on your land. Like, we just want to know how to tag it or whatever. They figured that out. It's family feud or something. I don't know. No, there's no feud. But so we're talking, and I'm looking, and we're losing light, and I can see the truck. It's a quarter mile away at least. And so they get talking. And oh, yeah, it was great. It was a fun time. And he goes, all right, see you later, and puts it in reback and takes off. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, thanks for the ride to the truck. Like, he's like, oh yeah, you're losing light. You better hurry up. See ya. And I'm like, thanks for the ride, dude.
I was like, he went home to eat dinner and was like,
Yeah. So John and I like run to the truck because it's getting dark. We come back, we pick them up, and we now have to drive into this valley. Hope we can remember where it is. Granted, the trackers are perfect at that.
Yeah.
They're so
Yeah,
good. They go,
yeah,
it's
they're
up there.
better than Google Maps.
It's insane. So we go up there, and it's starting to get dark, and we realize that thing is 300 yards straight up.
Dude, I mean,
And you're probably at 6,000 feet elevation.
and like ankle rolling boulders.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing
I kicked
was
one
nice
out.
about it.
I almost took you out. I kicked one on that. I stepped on one, and it kicked out, and it's tumbling down the mountain. I'm like, hey, watch out.
Yeah, if I wasn't so powerful, it would have hit me. You know, I grabbed it and moved it, but yeah, dude,
Right.
it was bad.
So it was perfect because we all got up there, and my butt finds it, and it was in that bush, and it was laying under. It looked like a wave. It was laying under it, dead, facing us, and we all get up there, and we're standing there, and Jose is coming up, and he's
Slow.
We were standing up there for a good 15, 20 minutes before Jose got up there.
Honestly, halfway up this mountain, I'm like, damn this kudu. I don't even care. I got a doo-doo.
yeah. So we go up, and we're standing there, and he's so close.
I've been there.
He gets so close, and he's got his hands on this rock, and we're like,
And we're
hey,
shouting at him. We're like, you could do it, man.
yeah.
And
You can do it.
And Jay's like, it's big as hell. I go, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
And 10 minutes later, he hears my response.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's like, it's so big. And Jose's like, me too.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, it was.
Dude, so
Yeah, it was hard.
He's got his hands right there, and all he has to do is take 2 more steps, and he's right on it. And we're like, dude, just stand up here, because we're all standing there looking at it. And he gets up, and he goes, "Damn, that deer's big as shit."